In the age of reboots, soft reboots, prequels and sequels, it seems that everything is being brought back from the dead, be it something loved from long ago or severely hated. But the question is, why has nostalgia become such a main player in today's media? And even more so, why have so many movies and TV shows failed to recapture the glory of what was? However, one show stands out above the rest of the clutter. A show not only brings us back to our childhoods, but also adds to their own legacy with amazing storylines and great characters. Join us, the Overall Nerds, in this video essay where we discuss Cobra Kai, the art of nostalgia.
Before the era of nostalgia, it is very easy to forget that reboots were very common, be it The Amazing Spider-Man, Robocop, Total Recall, just to name a few. But the thing is, not many of these reboots were able to recapture the love that the original had from audiences, either being a critical failure or financial failure. And there's one simple reason for this. There was a disconnect between the film and the audience. The name was there, the premise was there, but the soul was missing. It always felt like a weak copy, which audiences couldn't help but compare to their childhood favourite films.
Enter 2015. Movie studios found themselves pondering the question as to how to entice audiences, how to make them excited for something that's proven to be successful in the past. The answer? Nostalgia. They realised in an ever-changing world where time moves so fast, people are desperate to recapture their youth, to be reminded of what they love, and how to better do that than to bring back beloved characters from their childhood. Star Wars The Force Awakens and Creed were one of the first to capitalise on this premise, bringing back iconic characters such as Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia and Rocky Balboa. Audiences had never been more excited, and it shows. The first trailer for Creed gained 50 million views, and Star Wars Episode 7 gained well over 100 million views collectively. The fans were in, and arguably these films handled nostalgia very well, managing to introduce their characters and concepts while at the same time respecting their returning actors. However, it was very obvious that these two films were playing it safe, i.e. repeating the same formula from what made the original films so special. But the job was done. With Star Wars making over $2 billion at the box office and Creed being a huge success, this sent a very dangerous signal to the media industry. Times have changed. It is no longer about great storytelling and taking risks. It is all about playing it safe, playing on nostalgia. Over the coming years, we'll be bombarded with movies attempting to play on our heartstrings, with Terminator and Jurassic World being some of the worst, purely hoping that bringing back beloved characters would be enough for audiences to believe they are watching a great film. Nostalgia was everywhere, even on TV, but don't get us started on Crisis.
But what happens when three die-hard fans of a franchise come together to make a masterpiece that not just has great storytelling, but also uses nostalgia to push the story forward, opposed to holding it back?
Bonsai! Daniel LaRusso here for LaRusso Auto, bringing you specials on all of our inventory. LaRusso Auto Group, we kick the competition.
On the 21st of March, 2018, YouTube released the first trailer for Cobra Kai, and it was goofy.
So this is gonna be a parody? I don't know. I thought it was gonna be more of like a
little more tongue in cheek.
No one knew how good the show was going to be. The whole premise just seemed gimmicky. Johnny being a sensei, mentoring a kid who was being bullied, it all seemed a bit too familiar. And fans started getting scared that the Karate Kid franchise would end up saturated like so many other properties.
I would imagine you got a lot of pitches as far as rebooting this franchise went.
Yes, one of my favorite Hollywood stories is two writers, they remain nameless, would say, hey, listen, this is it. What if Rocky Balboa had a kid, and you had a kid, and you from Newark, and him from Philly, and Mickey and Miyagi would come together, and it was like a whole mixed martial karate.
I like that idea too.
So we're gonna.
But then, season 1 dropped, and no word of a lie, we both binge-watched the whole season in one sitting. We couldn't turn the TV off. But what was it? Was it the nostalgia? Was it the drama? Was it the karate? The answer is all of it. Unlike so many other properties, Cobra Kai didn't rely on their nostalgic characters to keep fans engaged. The show used these characters to reintroduce us to the universe, having a Johnny-centered first episode and a Daniel-centered second, capitalizing on this audience engagement by using this time to introduce us to a plethora of new characters such as Miguel, Sam, and Robbie. These new characters needed to be great and compelling because nostalgia only lasts so long.
The art behind Cobra Kai lies in perspective. Switching the focus of the story to Johnny opened up new avenues to explore for the Karate Kid franchise, aiding its new audience not to feel isolated in the show's approach, whilst in the same breath telling a familiar story for returning fans to recognise, but not feeding them the exact same meal. Cobra Kai tells an old story new. Season 1 is familiar yet fresh, bringing back Johnny and Daniel in different narrative roles that gives them more depth than Karate Kid ever could. Not to say Karate Kid does an ill job of defining its characters, but where Karate Kid deals with the black and white of a situation, Cobra Kai takes the risk to allow its protagonists in Season 1 and onward to dabble in the grey. The nostalgia of Cobra Kai is brilliant, as it isn't just used for nostalgia purposes. It does what other sequel and continuation series have never done: make the films better. Cobra Kai's ability to see both sides allows us to look back on certain Karate Kid films with a whole new perspective, with this mostly being used for the show's antagonists. Repurposing Kreese's motivation when he tells Johnny to sweep the leg in Series 4 adds layers to the sensei-student dynamic that Karate Kid never had the time to give. The use of flashbacks merged with the current show has you looking back not just in fond memory, but a new discovery of what characters such as Kreese, Silver, and Johnny were thinking. The show gives new life to its past, which entices the present concept, laying strong foundations for the franchise's future, which all stems from its expert use of nostalgia.
But once the rose-tinted glasses fade away, what are you left with? Do you have someone that's just a face and catchphrases? Or do you have a character? With Cobra Kai, Johnny isn't there just to get crane kicked. Daniel isn't there just to crane kick. And Kreese isn't there to scream no mercy. These characters have grown. They are not the same versions just thrown back in front of us to cheat us into watching. While most of these continuations focus on using nostalgia to pass on the mantle, Cobra Kai uses nostalgia to develop the story even further, not reintroducing our heroes purely for the purpose of killing them off. Cobra Kai pushes past nostalgia and makes us genuinely care about the adult versions of these heroes, not just the people we remember them being when they were young. Young Daniel and adult Daniel are different people. They are strands from the past, but we are watching a character that has aged 30 years, developing new traits onto their old ones, crafting a complex new character. It is not the Daniel we remember, but that is good. As due to his development throughout the seasons, we come to love this new Daniel just as much as the old. Unlike, for example, Han Solo from the Star Wars series, who was essentially the same character despite 30 years having passed. Yes, it's nice to see them, but we don't care about old Han Solo. We like him for the person we know he used to be. In the case of Silver, the writers knew they couldn't bring back the crazed maniac, hell-bent on tearing down a teenager through karate. They needed someone to match this now adult Daniel that they had developed. So they did what every other franchise is unwilling to do. They took their time. Having Silver reflect on his past, learn from it, allows the character to become a more formidable opponent for the show. Having a greater understanding of Silver makes him more intimidating, as you know he will never back down. Reusing the Karate Kid 3 Silver would have felt cheap and lazy. The writers know when it's time to push past nostalgia to strengthen the storytelling, but they also know when to cut loose, to have fun, and to really give the fans what they want.
Cobra Kai is very traditional, yet subtle in their use of fan service. It's not just thrown in our face. They come with meaning and purpose and are built up throughout the seasons. An observant viewer may see Daniel's crane kick in Season 5 and think, wow, how cheesy or corny, but they don't realise the development behind that moment. Built through 5 seasons of television and backed by incredible utilisation of well-placed flashbacks, to hardcore fans, that kick wasn't corny or out of place. It was well-deserved fan service to an audience that has been waiting patiently for 5 seasons to see our Daniel become the Karate Kid once again, and even pays off the line Terry Silver said to Daniel in Karate Kid 3, saying how his crane crap won't save him. It was just perfect. This is a huge testament to the writers of Cobra Kai. They understand the importance of building up to a moment and do so beautifully, from something as simple as Kreese doing his classic pose or to successfully taking over Cobra Kai to something as intricate as Tommy literally ending up in a body bag. It's this intelligent use of fan service that really sets Cobra Kai apart from its other nostalgic competitors. Like, yes, we'll get a few cheers just for the cool factor of seeing their favourite characters say the classic lines, but there really is no emotional weight behind it.
The reason why this video is called The Art of Nostalgia is because Cobra Kai paints it as just that. Art takes time to craft, to understand and give something different to every viewer that sees it. The way the show has embraced, enhanced and developed its story through nostalgia is something that every major franchise should take note of. And we are seeing this in the modern day, with Spider-Man No Way Home using their past Spider-Mans to help our Spider-Man grow. Not just them showing up at the last minute and saving the day, which would have been so easy to do. As Miyagi said, everything needs balance. Cobra Kai is not purely a nostalgic show, nor is it a completely new and fresh one, but a show that has found true balance, that lets the old develop the new, but also lets the new develop the old.
Thank you for listening to our take on the art of nostalgia. If you have agree or disagree, if you have, we talking right now. My bad, people. Thanks for listening to our take on the art of nostalgia. If you agree or disagree, please let us know in the comments below, and we'll leave you with these 2 questions. What franchise would you love to see come back? And which franchise should they never touch? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you enjoyed it. This has been the Overall Nerds, and peace.